What documents should you bring when you're traveling internationally or domestically? I'm Erick Widman. I'm an immigration lawyer, and it is a common question. What should you travel with? What are you required to travel with when you are leaving the US and crossing borders? The answer to that question depends upon your status as an immigrant or a non-immigrant. And it's fairly straightforward. If you are a US citizen, you carry your passport. But for immigrants, the big question, it all depends upon what status you're in your immigration journey. So for example, if you are a non-immigrant and you are a student or an H-1B worker, it is quite different than if you have, for example, a pending green card. So in this short video, I'm just going to describe one scenario where you have a pending adjustment of status based upon your marriage to a US citizen. So you've filed the paperwork, you've already been married, and you applied to adjust your status, so that's pending with USCIS. But you want to travel internationally. You'll need, in addition to your valid passport, you'll need a valid advance parole document. It often comes together with your EAD, and they call it a combo card, EAD, Employment Authorization Document. And so your advance parole travel permit is one that you will carry with you. It's required to have advance parole in order to leave the United States to travel internationally. So you'll need your valid passport from your home country, your advance parole EAD card, or at least your advance parole card that is valid beyond the date that you're going to be returning back. So make sure it's valid. And of course, you will also, we recommend, bring with you a receipt notice from USCIS showing that you have a pending 485 adjustment of status case that has been submitted to USCIS, and you have a receipt number for that. Carry that with you as well, so that you can show the CBP officer coming in, here's my passport, advance parole, and I'm an adjustment of status applicant. It's pending. So that is just one scenario out of many scenarios. US immigration law is remarkably complex. But let's say you want to travel domestically. So you are flying within the United States. You're not going to have to go through customs. You're not leaving the United States. So the requirements are less rigorous. And mostly your status does not matter. What stage in the process as an immigrant you are doesn't matter as long as you have valid ID. If you're undocumented, that's a different matter. But we're talking about those with valid immigration status and you want to travel domestically. The TSA, their website, lays out, and I'll link to that, what acceptable forms of ID are available to those of you who are foreign nationals. And there's about 15 or 20 different options. So one of those options is if you are a foreign national and you want to travel from California to New York, for example, you can use your international passport from your home country. So that should be valid, but it is authorized as one of the ways to prove your identity. You're not going to go through customs, but it is sufficient on its own. Similarly, a driver's license is going to do the job. That's valid ID. That's on the list. Starting in 2023, it's got to be Real ID compliant. And also make sure that your driver's license is not temporary, because that is specifically excluded. It's got to be a permanent, non-temporary driver's license. A few other items on the list. If you have an employment authorization document, an EAD, that's allowed to travel to prove your ID for domestic flights. If you have a green card, that definitely is sufficient. I'm going to stop there. There are more possible options to show your ID, but you must have ID. You, for example, could provide a state ID. The list goes on, but look at that list and then compare and contrast with what you have. If you have any questions, let us know, and take care.